Hi everybody in YouTube land. I'm going to be releasing a video on a site that I enjoy watching on YouTube. It's just a little, I don't know, kind of 2 or 3 minutes probably long, something like that. And it's just talking about citations and what a citation is for people that are unaware. If they're actual quotes from confirmed scientists, not pseudoscientists, but real scientists. So when somebody comes along on YouTube and they say, "Oh, you're not a scientist and I'm a scientist," until you actually have a name on paper, right? And a biography or something that you can cross check on that person, you don't really have any evidence. So in other words, like somebody comes along and says, "I'm so and so and I've got all this formula and blah 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 blah," and they write down all this fucking shit on your page or whatever the case may be. They're not really a true scientist, right? But if you have a citation from a textbook, right, or from articles with their name and their number and who they actually really are, because they've been published as a scientist in a scientific community under the scientific method, which is the empirical method. So when you have something that is an empirical method of science, you have all the accoutrements of true science. Not the star up in the sky is green, the star up in the sky is orange, the star up in the sky is purple. Therefore, as I put my hands on my hips and point my face to the sky, I declare that that is that distance and that is that distance because of the funky machine that we built that bounces radio waves or microwaves or some form of infrared rays and tells us everything we need to know. Boys and girls, enjoy the science show. That's not science. I'm sorry, but it's just not. It's nonsense, and this is literally, it was starting, but it was encroaching, and now it's fully on the age of idiocracy. They want you watering your grass with Gatorade, for fuck's sakes. You need to wake up. They don't know what's out there. They're not going to tell you that, but if they can fool you, if they can convince you that outer space exists and that they've been to the moon and they're going to Mars and that they're going to all these planets in the solar system, then they will. And you'll just happily, merrily just dance along with them, just happy to do it. So I challenge people not to just point and declare and not to just pretend that they think that they know what they're talking about. See, I can identify the difference between somebody that is a real truth seeker and somebody that isn't. And the best way to identify it is somebody that just automatically says, "I know the Earth's a ball. We've known the Earth's a ball. Everybody knows the Earth's a ball. What's wrong with you?" And then starts going in with name calling and harassing and bullying. Those people are not at all interested in the truth. What they're interested in on a daily, regular basis, I'm going to tell you this right now, is either sports, pornography, right? Hunting, or self-idolization. In other words, they want to be, "Oh, look at me, I've done this. If you follow me, you'll get this." Like, I see people on YouTube all the time, and I'm like, holy fuck, man. It's just literally about how great they are and how to be like them and pay PayPal accounts that they set up and all this stuff. I'm telling you, they're cons. A true person that's being truthful with you about the truth is not asking you for money. However, some channels that are pushing the truth, okay, in order to keep their channel alive, to push the truth, they do need money. And because the flat earth community is such a small community, but growing, by the way, they want to keep it alive. I mean, you're literally having Bambi stand up to Godzilla, right? And Godzilla's came down with his big Godzilla stomp. He still hasn't squished Bambi. Bambi's still running and still trying to stay alive, trying to make people see what's really out there. For fuck's sakes, It's the same star system. It's the same stars twirling and whirling around the same fucking star, the North Star. All compasses are pointing to the center. You know, like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you better wake the fuck up. You can't have gas pressure without a container. There's citations of this. This is a natural law. This is not arguable or contestable. And when somebody says, "Oh, well, I know you can have gas pressure without a container. Just look up at the sky." Like, really? That's how you justify it? The very thing that we're disproving scientifically, you're going to give me a logical fallacy and get me to look up to the sky to make that kind of inference? What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, it's the age of idiocracy. Go drink your Gatorade watered grass. Go on your fucking porn channels. Go watch your fucking porn all fucking day long and fucking masturbate to fucking, probably half of them are transsexuals. Go ahead, go for it. Because you don't know what the fuck is going on. You're fucking clueless. And when somebody talks to me like, I don't know what's going on, fuck you, man. I'm like, dude, I'm like 50 fucking years old. Almost 50 years old. So don't fucking tell me, you little fucking punk, what's going on. I've been around the block. I've seen what's happened. And I know sure as fuck they're lying. Everybody's lying. Look at your fake news. Look at your fucking fake fucking reality shows. They're all fake. Everything's fucking fake. You think they're going to stop with that? And the government, almost every person can admit the government's lying to them. They know they're lying to you. So the government is lying to you, but NASA is pure as the driven fucking snow. You got to fucking wake the fuck up. Like, seriously, wake the fuck up. Now, I'm going to give you a small blurb of a channel that I often frequently watch. And there's citations of real scientists. So I expect some blowback from this and some name calling and some, "Oh, you're so stupid." Oh. Like, I expect it because that's what you fuckers do. That's how you are. That's how you operate. You won't fucking do anything else but and I'll just block you. I'll just remove you from my channel. I don't give a fuck who you are. You have nothing to say that is constructive. You're just a piece of shit to me. Like, literally, a piece of shit. Something that you flush down the toilet, out the fucking river, just a piece of fucking shit. That's what you are. So enjoy this.
Each presentation now talking about this because I feel it's very important. And it may open a lot of people's eyes to the fraud. Okay, so what we got here is we got paleontology, anthropology, archaeology, geology, evolutionary biology. Yeah, I'm still laughing. Theoretical physics, not experimental. And then astrophysics, astronomy, and cosmology. These are not frigging sciences. Okay? Not sciences. They go by the term science, but they don't have anything to do with it. Crocheting is more scientific than these clowns combined. Why? The first 6 pretenders can't get to the first step of the scientific method. Science, observe a phenomenon without a time machine. The final 3 masqueraders, these guys, the ones that we deal with in this genre, they can't formulate scientific hypotheses because they lack viable independent variable. So, if you can't form a hypothesis, you can't isolate, test, and validate your dependent variables or your predictions. And we're going to discuss this here in a few minutes. That's a scientific hypothesis. It's a hard stop. Listen, if you're a banana, then a banana has certain characteristics or traits that it has to satisfy, right? Bananas, they grow on trees. They're green, yellow, purple, brown, red. They're chock full of complex carbohydrates and potassium. And if you put them in the freezer, it destroys the B6 in them. That's what makes bananas bananas and separates them from tumbleweeds. Okay? It's the same thing with science. If you don't have a hypothesis, independent, dependent variable, and an experiment, then it's not science. You can't just call it that by fiat. Don't do it, because if you do it around me, there's an ass whooping coming. Now, the true sciences are physics, that's quantum mechanics, genetics, chemistry, you H2O deniers out there, biochemistry, and biology. Now, I've started recently caveating this last guy because there's a difference between, molecular and cell biology and the convention categorizers, the collators. They're just glorified. Shady Meadows, they can report back here. Now, the pagan retard mythologists, they're going to start shucking and jiving like you've seen over the past 3 days, right? Their last and only port in the storm is gravity holds gases to the earth, right? That's the only port they got. So, from Tech Target, a gas is a sample of matter that conforms to the shape of a container in which it is held and acquires a uniform density inside the container, even in the presence of gravity. And regardless of the amount of substance in the container, if not confined to a container, gaseous matter, also known as vapor, will disperse into space. Right? So what are they going to do? Oh, that citation, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, no problem. We don't need the citation. Let's do a practical example. Have them go out to their car or bicycle and kneel down to either tire, which is real close to the earth. That means maximum gravity. You remove the valve stem cap and have to depress the pin or the valve. Now listen up closely. This is the difficult part. Here comes the punchline. If the the pressurized gas shoots out in all directions, increasing entropy, then guess what? Kiss the heliocentric pagan religitard myth goodbye. It's over. Should be no questions with that. I can't break it down any further. So,
excellent.
What's their next? Go ahead. Somebody wanted to say something?
Just excellent. I thought that was the end, but there was a bit more, so I'll shut up.
You got 4 more minutes.
What? It's going to be a little bit more than 4 minutes, Arwen. Is that okay with you?
No, you said 10 minutes.
Oh,
that's
come
a
on,
lot.
Arwen. You're stretching out longer.
Unbelievable.
Just chill out. Got all the time in the world.
All right. The pagan religitards claim this is another point, right? They've expressed feverishly over the past 2 days that the atmosphere spins with the Earth. I mean, this is well beyond crayon munching, folks. Number one, you need to please explain how the Coriolis effect can exist when the necessary conditions for it to exist are 2 differing coordinate systems, that's reference frames, one rotating, that's non-inertial, that's the Earth, and one non-rotating, inertial, that's the atmosphere and everything in it. Number 2, you need to show the experiment where gases or gas rotate in lockstep with a rotating solid body just 5 centimeters above the surface and then provide the mechanism. So you do understand that gases have no intermolecular bonds. That's obviously rhetorical. They forgot about that. So do gas molecules attach to the Earth and each other by Velcro, superglue, molasses, pixie dust, other? And gas molecules, air, by definition, their behavior, vibrate and move freely and randomly at high speeds. So let's check this out. Let's get a little visual. This is from Purdue University. Now, over here is a solid. See, it's vibrating, but it's pretty tight. Liquid, it's vibrating and moving randomly, but within its constraints, because guess what? Liquids, i.e. water, have hydrogen bonds, intermolecular bonds, and then we have gases. Look what's happening here. Oh my goodness, they're moving randomly and freely at high speeds. And to his point earlier, how are gas molecules laying on top of each other? For crying out loud. All right? Question. How can gas molecules, that's the atmosphere is made up of gases, air is a gas, move freely and randomly at high speeds, yet at the same time be fixed to the earth? The exact opposite, the exact contradiction to what I just said. I mean, it's over right here with this point. However, we got another one. If the atmosphere is attached to the earth and the earth and the atmosphere are moving west to east, then Crayon Munchers, can you please explain east, north, and south surface winds? Bonus question. How can you have different wind speeds moving in different directions simultaneously at differing elevations of the atmosphere, all the while the atmosphere is collectively spinning east in uniform or in unison the same, right? It's a contradiction. All right, yesterday's hangout. Question to George. Is there problems with planes? What counts as free flight? Do airplanes? George, no. That's powered flight. From Physics About, the Coriolis effect, also called the Coriolis force, is defined as the apparent deflection of objects such as airplanes, wind, missiles, ocean currents, moving in straight path relative to the Earth's surface. The apparent portion of the Coriolis effect's definition is also important to take into consideration. This means that from the object in the air, i.e., that is an airplane, the Earth can be seen rotating slowly below it.
Did you hear that? The Earth can be seen rotating slowly below the plane. You need to wake up. You're fucking idiots.
From the Earth's surface, that same object, the airplane, appears to curve off its course. The object is not actually moving off its course, but it just appears to be happening because the Earth's surface is rotating beneath the object. Hey? Now, before we get the faux cult, let's go to the Crayon Munchers' alma mater, the Coriolis effect from Wiki. And I've showed this so many times, it's ridiculous. Right? Let's pull it up with their third reference frames. Okay. Can you guys see this over here?
Yeah, looking good.
Looking good? You see, I only pulled this thing up and pulled it off on its own. I never read the illustration or the discussion beneath it. Let's go ahead and read it. In the inertial frame of reference, the upper part, the black ball moves in the straight line. However, the observer, the brown dot, who is standing in the rotating non-inertial frame of reference, the lower part of the picture, sees the object as following a curved path due to the Coriolis and centrifugal forces present in the frame. Where's the third reference frame here? That's what I thought. Morons. Foucault pendulum. And this is directly connected to our little Coriolis effect fiasco. Let's take a listen from plusmass.org, defining the Foucault pendulum. When you set one in motion, its direction of swing will rotate at a rate of about 0.2 degrees every minute. But in fact, it isn't really the pendulum that's rotating. The pendulum is swinging back and forth in exactly the same direction. It's the Earth which is rotating underneath the pendulum, which makes it appear that the pendulum is in fact changing direction. Okay, If that's true, then why couldn't we just hover in a helicopter in North Carolina for 3 hours and catch a Dodger game?
Did you hear that? If the Earth is rotating under the pendulum, that means that if you're in a helicopter hovering, you don't have to go anywhere. The Earth should just rotate, and the destination you desire should approach you. Does that happen? Has that ever happened? Take your head, stick it in a microwave oven, turn it on to high, and nuke your fucking brain, because you clearly are not using it.
You guys are smoked. Now, I was going to go into Soundly's train wreck response, but I'm not going to do that because I took a little bit over 10 minutes. So I'll yield. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, John.
Just before George responds,
Excellent.
I want to present just two